Abraham had lived in the land of Canaan for over 60 years when his wife Sarah died. In all that time he had not possessed any of the land. He had been a stranger, a foreigner, a visitor to the land. But now Sarah dies at 127 years old, and Abraham seeks a burying place for her. My name's Arthur. Thank you for joining me as we read Genesis chapter 23. Let's read the chapter together. Sarah lived 127 years. These were the years of the life of Sarah. So Sarah died in Kirjatharba, that is Hebron, in the land of Canaan. And Abraham came to mourn for Sarah and to weep for her. Then Abraham stood up from before his dead and spoke to the sons of Heth, saying, I am a foreigner and a visitor among you. Give me property for a burial place among you, that I may bury my dead out of my sight. And the sons of Heth answered Abraham, saying to him, Hear us, my lord. You are a mighty prince among us. Bury your dead in the choicest of our burial places. None of us will withhold from you his burial place, that you may bury your dead. Then Abraham stood up and bowed himself to the people of the land, the sons of Heth. And he spoke to them, saying, If it is your wish that I bury my dead out of my sight, hear me, and meet with Ephron the son of Zohar for me, that he may give me the cave of Machpelah, which he has, which is at the end of his field. Let him give it me at the full price, as property for a burial place among you. Now Ephron dwelt among the sons of Heth. And Ephron the Hittite answered Abraham in the presence of the sons of Heth, all who entered at the gate of his city, saying, No, my lord, hear me. I give you the field, and the cave that is in it. I give it to you in the presence of the sons of my people. I give it to you. Bury your dead. Then Abraham bowed himself down before the people of the land, and he spoke to Ephron in the hearing of the people of the land, saying, If you will give it, please hear me. I will give you money for the field. Take it from me, and I will bury my dead. And Ephron answered Abraham, saying to him, My lord, listen to me. The land is worth 400 shekels of silver. What is that between you and me? So bury your dead. And Abraham listened to Ephron, and Abraham weighed out the silver for Ephron, which he had named in the hearing of the sons of Heth, 400 shekels of silver, currency of the merchants. So the field of Ephron, which was in Machpelah, which was before Mamre, the field and the cave which was in it, and all the trees that were in the field, which were within all the surrounding borders, were deeded to Abraham as a possession in the presence of the sons of Heth, before all who went in at the gate of his city. And after this Abraham buried Sarah his wife in the cave of the field of Machpelah before Mamre, which is Hebron, in the land of Canaan. So the field and the cave that is in it were deeded to Abraham by the sons of Heth as a property for a burial place. And may the Lord bless his word to us. Who are the sons of Heth? We find out who they were back in the genealogy in chapter 10. The sons of Ham were Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan. Canaan begot Sidon his firstborn, and Heth, the Jebusite, the Amorite, and the Girgashite, the Hivite, the Archite, and the Semite. And so the sons of Heth were one family of the descendants of Canaan, the family that dwelt in the land of Canaan, and gave rise to the Jebusites and the Amorites and the other tribal groups that were there. The Jebusites were settled around Jerusalem. The Amorites were settled around Hebron, and Abraham had good relations with them. It was Amorite neighbours who were his allies in the battle against the kings of the east 50 years earlier. The particular land that Abraham seeks to buy, the field of Machpelah, belonged to Ephron the Hittite, also called the son of Zohar. Negotiations for the land take place at the gate of Hebron in the presence of the elders of the sons of Heth. Ephron the Hittite says, "I give it to you in the presence of the sons of my people." And so he is identifying the sons of Heth as his people. In other words, the Hittites is another name given to the sons of Heth, although there are later references to the Hittites. And the Hittite peoples were established in the area that we now refer to as Turkey, and were a very great nation in their time. The greatness of the Hittite nation is seen that 1,000 years later, David has as one of his mighty men Uriah the Hittite, who worships God. It is evident the residents of the land, the sons of Heth, have a very high regard for Abraham. He has lived among them now for 60 years, and they have greatly appreciated him. He is a great prince among them. And so they are happy for him to buy some land as a burying place. We have a negotiation for the land. The people are happy to give the land, but Abraham is not happy to receive it as a gift. He ascertains its price. He doesn't haggle over the price. He freely pays the 400 shekels to buy the field with the cave and the trees that are on it. This sets some kind of legal precedent that when you buy land, then you buy all the attributes of the land, whether they be trees or caves or whatever. So Abraham dwelt in the land and had no possession of the land. He was a stranger and a foreigner in the land. His only possession was this burying place purchased from the sons of Heth. In due course, Abraham himself would be buried there, and to this day there are memorials in Hebron to Abraham. This is land that it would seem that Jacob purchased again, and ultimately would be a burying place for Jacob and for Joseph. Abraham buried his dead out of his sight, but it was actually purchased land that they would know where she was buried, because Abraham was one who believed in resurrection. He believed Sarah would be raised from the dead at the end of the days. Even as he knew God as the everlasting God, so he anticipated an everlasting relationship with God. Thus, burial rather than cremation is a normal pattern of dealing with the dead in the Scriptures. Death is referred to as resting. When Abraham dies, he was gathered to his people. And so Jesus referred to death as sleep, resting in sleep. When Jesus died, there was an earthquake in Jerusalem which opened all the tombs. And when Jesus rose from the dead, these dead bodies arose and were seen by many in Jerusalem. And when he ascended, no doubt he took these resurrected saints with him to glory. He led captivity captive. And so Paul declares that the dead in Christ will rise first, and we who are alive and remain will be caught up in clouds to meet the Lord in the air. Just as Jesus taught, the Son gives life to whom he will. For the Father judges no one, but has committed all judgment to the Son, that all should honour the Son just as they honour the Father. He who does not honour the Son does not honour the Father who sent him. Assuredly I say to you, he who hears my word and believes in him who sent me has everlasting life, and shall not come into judgment, but has passed from death into life. Surely I say to you, the hour is coming, and now is, when the dead will hear the voice of the Son of God, and those who hear will live. As the Father has life in himself, so he has granted the Son to have life in himself. Do not marvel at this, for the hour is coming in which all who are in the graves will hear his voice and come forth, those who have done good to the resurrection of life, those who have done evil to the resurrection of condemnation.